A great-looking lawn and an eye-catching landscape don't just happen by accident. They require targeted care all year long. So today, we've come to Behnke Nurseries in Beltsville, Maryland to get some tips on how to transform your landscape from dormant to deep green. For 85 years, Behnke's has peddled pansies, perennials, and everything in between. Rows and rows of gorgeous colors leave no doubt this is ground zero in our search for greener pastures. That's right, folks, it's that time of year again. You gotta break out the tools and brush off that green thumb to get that landscape to be the showplace of the neighborhood that you know it can be and you want it to be. So we've called in Christopher. He works at Behnke. He's been here about 10 years, and he's gonna give us some tips on jump-starting that lawn for the upcoming season.
The first thing I would do is I would survey the lawn to see what bare patches exist throughout the lawn. You should work the soil bed, raking and disturbing the soil to make it appropriate for getting grass to germinate and to grow.
Prior to planting, it's a good idea to send your soil out for testing. This will help you discover things like what nutrients are deficient or if lime is needed to correct low pH and avoid moss. All right, Christopher, so we found our bare patches, we laid down our grass seed. What's the best time to start fertilizing and getting rid of that ugly crabgrass and weeds?
Once the grass achieves about an inch of height, then you could go then and apply your pre-emergent, your weed and feed products. The perennial weeds, if they're in a flower bed, remove them manually with a rake or a cultivator. In a soil, a turf area, you may need to apply a post-emergent herbicide later in May to effectively kill them.
In order to get a green, healthy lawn, you actually have to get down and listen to the... No, actually, I'm just kidding. I'm down here to let you know that when you mow the lawn, you should mow it about 2.5 inches long at the most, and you don't want to cut more than an inch off at a time when you do mow the lawn. That's important to keep the grass green and healthy. But a spiffy lawn is only part of the equation. Now it's time to start adding color and variety to your landscape. Gardens are one way, but planting pots are especially good in early spring.
I would say choose your pot first, then consider what you want to plant in that pot.
Terry is Behnke's planting guru. She likes large containers because they can easily be covered or brought inside in case of frost.
You can have a tomato plant, patio style.
Right.
You can also have green pepper plants. Right. You can also put in herbs, where you can have this as the center and have smaller draping herbs on the sides and give you that a harvest for oregano, basil.
It smells wonderful, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Be sure to replace at least half the soil in your pots each season. The soil should be kept wet, and water-soluble plant food should be added every other week. But in the end, planting is as much art as science. Terry always plants in odd numbers and uses a system she calls thriller, filler, and spiller.
Your thriller, which is your upright.
Okay.
You have your filler. So this is going to be your medium height plant.
Okay.
This can grow 2 to 3 feet tall.
Gotcha.
So this is about a foot, foot and a half, and you can easily cut it to let it fill out. And then you have your spiller. And your spiller is something, again, that's going to drape over the sides to soften the edge of the pot.
So go through that again. You have
Your thriller.
your thriller, which grows tall.
Yes, your filler.
Your filler, which then fills out the area.
And your spiller.
Which spills over the sides and softens up the edges of your pot.
That is true.
That is beautiful. So there you have it, a bit of a primer on bringing that landscape back to life. It really isn't all that difficult. And if there's one thing you take away from this, I hope it's that you know you don't need a green thumb to have your neighbors green with envy.